Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We, on the government side, proudly stand support the policy of starting high school at 6:30 a.m. In Indonesia, this may seem like a bold and even controversial move, but we firmly believe that this policy is a necessary step toward building a more disciplined, efficient, and future ready generation. It is not merely about the clock, it is about shaping mindsets, habits, and national character. Let us begin with the most important point, discipline and time management. The area school start time will teach students the value of waking early, organizing their day, and being mentally prepared before the rest of the world begins to move. This creates a culture of discipline, punctuality, and commitment. These are not just school skills, these are life skills. Starting school early trains young people for the realities of adulthood, where workplaces and universities often expect early attendance and high productivity from the start of the day. Secondly, we must talk about traffic and public infrastructure. In major cities across Indonesia, Jakarta, Surabaya, Medan, traffic congestion is one of the most frustrating and costly challenges in daily life. By shifting school start time to earlier hours, we can distribute the load on the transportation system. Students will travel during early hours, avoiding rush hour and easing traffic flow for workers and business. This is not just a school policy, it is a solution that benefits the entire society. It reduces emission, saves time, and reduces stress levels for millions of people. Third, consider the efficient use of daylight. Indonesia, being near the equator, has consistent sunrise and sunset hours years around. Starting school early allows students to make the most of daylight, especially in areas where evening activity may be unsafe. Students can finish school before 1 or 2 p.m., giving them more time for extracurricular activities, sports, study session, and most importantly, family time. It promotes a more balanced and healthier lifestyle when managed correctly. For there is the educational and cognitive advantage. Research from countries with early school system like Japan and South Korea suggests that starting early can boost academic performance when supported by healthy routines. Early mornings tend to be quiet, less distracting, and more conducive to learning. The brain is fresh and ready to absorb new material. Many high performing countries with early schedule have created productive learning cultures where focus on discipline are prioritized over convenience. Now, we recognize concerns about sleep deprivation. That is why we propose that this policy must be implemented with support, not in isolation. We should educate families and students about proper sleep hygiene, reducing late night gadget use, managing homework more efficiently, and sleeping before 9 or 10 p.m. This is not impossible. Millions of Indonesian workers and family already follow such routines. Additionally, school and local government can collaborate to adjust transportation schedules, improve school safety, and ensure students are not walking in darkness or waiting for public transit alone. This transition must be managed with planning, training, and empathy. We must also consider the long-term national benefit. This policy encourages a culture of early productivity, which is a key factor in the economic growth of countries like Singapore, South Korea, and China. If we continue to allow late start, sluggish routines, we risk falling behind in global competitiveness. The world is moving fast, and Indonesia must prepare its young generation to keep up. In conclusion, we believe that starting high school at 9:30 a.m. is not punishment. It is not opportunity. It builds discipline, reduces national inefficiency, promotes healthy time use, and prepare students for the real demands of life. With proper implementation, the benefits for outweigh the challenge. Let us move forward, not backward. We, on the opposition side, rise in firm and absolute rejection of policy requiring high school students in Indonesia to start school at 6:30 a.m. This is not a forward-thinking move. It is a harmful, misguided, and unrealistic policy that places unnecessary pressure on young people and families across the country. First and foremost, this policy completely ignores the biological needs of adolescents. Numerous studies from the World Health Organization, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and the Sleep Research Society all emphasize one critical fact. Teenagers require 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night. Their brains and bodies are still developing, forcing them to wake up at 4:30 or 5 a.m. means they must go to bed by 8:30 or 9 p.m. Something that is entirely unrealistic, especially when homework, house chores, and cultural obligations stretch into the evening. The result? Chronic sleep deprivation, and with the comes reduced concentration, poor academic performance, memory loss, mood swings, anxiety, and in some cases, depression. Instead of building discipline, focused students were creating tired, stressed, and unhealthy teenagers. Secondly, this policy increases inequality and disadvantages rural, low income, and vulnerable communities. In urban centers, private schools with buses and well-lit neighborhoods may manage. But what about the students in remote villages? Those who walk long distance, who rely on ojek or angkot that don't operate early. These students will be at greater risk and more likely to reflect, miss class, or even drop out. The government should be closing the education gap, not widening it. Third, let's consider the impact on families and teachers. Many parents, especially working mother, already face pressure to prepare food, handle house chores, and send children to school on time. Now, they must do it an hour earlier. The burden grows heavier. And what about the teachers? Many are also parents. They too must wake earlier, travel farther, and teach when their own energy is depleted. Teacher fatigue leads to lower classroom quality, which defeats the purpose of this policy. Fourth, the government argues that this aligns us with Japan or South Korea. But this is a false comparison. These countries have robust public transportation, school breakfast programs, and evening support service. Indonesia, in many areas, lacks even street lights or reliable buses. We cannot import a system without adapting it to our context. They also argue for efficiency and traffic solution. But this is not a student problem. This is a transportation and city planning problem. Why are we placing the weight of national infrastructure failure on shoulders of teenagers? Instead of changing school time, we propose a better alternative. Implement nationwide sleep and wellness education, encourage digital cross to prevent late night gadget use, invest in infrastructure, especially safe, reliable transportation for students, begin school at 6:30 or 8 a.m. in line with international research. Focus on education quality, not just time schedules. In conclusion, we believe this policy is damaged, inquirable, and unsupported by science. It leads students' health, creates unnecessary burden, and fails to solve Indonesia's deeper problem. Let us not sacrifice sleep for slogans. Let us not sacrifice teenagers for traffic. We call on this house to do the responsible thing, vote against this motion.